Half time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham are winning 2-0. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even celebrate any of the goals. As a fan, I'm completely deflated with the whole concept of Tottenham Hotspur at the minute. So it's one of those. If we won, lost, or drew, I haven't got the passion for it anymore. You know what we're doing? We're going for the top four cup again. I understand that we've got to be in the Champions League, but for me, I don't understand the point of being in the Champions League if we're not going to build a team to try and win it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no point in going into any competition if you're not going to try and win it. You know, my daughter's going to a gymnastics competition on Monday. Is she going there to take part? No. Her and her team are going there to try and win. But Tottenham just turn up for the sake of being invited. That's how it's been. So, I'm not going to sit there and get gas because I just can't. My son was jumping around on me and all that stuff. We win, we put ourselves in a position, but realistically, all it does is paper over the cracks again because we're in Champions League and you'll get a majority of the fan base going, yeah, we're in the Champions League. It's a good season. You wouldn't think Liverpool would finish in the way they did, but we finished above them. You wouldn't think we finished above them. Like, that doesn't do it for me. Finishing fourth, do you know what I mean? When I went to school and did, sports day, if I finished fourth, I weren't happy. I was stressed. I'd be stressed if I finished second. Do you know what I mean? When I play for football teams, when I have done in the past anyway, am I content with finishing fourth in the league? No. Do you know what I mean? You want to win the thing. Now, if you don't win it and you come close, it's a good effort, but we go again until we win it. But Tottenham don't do that, but apparently we're a big club. So, yeah, we're going to the second half. It'll probably be 4-0. Tottenham fans will be going on about Harry Kane's one of our own, but come next year, he'll be one of theirs. So, yeah, we go into the second half. We'll see how it goes. In terms of the half, it's like what Nottingham Forest showed us too much respect, and Harry Kane scored goals. As I said before the game, if Forest did their homework, they could have got a result here, but it's pretty clear they didn't do their homework and we're winning. So that's how it goes with Tottenham. But yeah, see you at full time. Good evening, ladies and gents. It's Jacob at full time, one up top. Tottenham 3, Nottingham Forest 1. We got a win. Did I expect us to win? Maybe. What did I enjoy the game? Maybe. Was it typical Tottenham in elements of that game? Yes. If let's take the positives first. So the positives were Harry Kane's back on the score sheet, Spurs in the round on the score sheet. We threatened to nearly go 4 games without scoring a goal, which we haven't done in 10 years. So if you want to take a positive, there's a hoodoo that was about to be on the horizon, and we've cleared that off the paperwork. Harry Kane again proving that without him we're mid-table fodder. Son got a goal, which I'm happy for the guy, but if I want to explain how I feel inside about that that result, I was watching it with my son, and when the goals went in, he's going mad. He's running around the house. He's took his top off, but then him and my daughter looked at me and they're like, "Dad, like, why are you not celebrating?" Because I was just sat there in front of the TV going, I didn't even clap, and it's because my soul is so flat with this club. It's like I've supported them 30 years. In the round, it's been the same thing. For 20 of those years, it's been the same owners. They've continued in the same vein. I just haven't got the energy to go mad anymore. What's going to happen? We're going to get top 4. A large section of our fans will be like, oh, we've finished above Liverpool. Liverpool have won, the Premier League in the last 3 years. Liverpool were the team competing with Man City and we finished above them. Liverpool having one of the worst seasons they've had for a long time, and they're still in with the chance of finishing above us. They shouldn't be within a chance, but they are because we're just as bad. They've just had a really mad, set of affairs. But we all know that Liverpool will be back. You know, they'll have Salah for another 3 years. You know, you have your Gakpos, your Nunes. If they're surplus of requirements, they'll be sold. And if Klopp can improve them, which he tends to do with a lot of his players, especially attacking ones, they'll be back at some point. You know, Liverpool aren't just going to keep doing this every year. At some point they're going to find a formula and execute it, and we'll still be here trying to hold on to Harry Kane, trying to hold on to Son, and not winning anything. So with that in mind, the reason why I find it hard to celebrate these days and why I can even laugh at Spurs is because my head is, 4 years ahead. You know, so in my mind it's like, what's the point of me going mad and celebrating? Because when I look back on the last 30 years, I haven't really achieved anything. And do I feel confident in the next 2-3 years we're going to? No. There's never been a plan. The only plan is financial. And like I said, you've got to put your feet in their shoes. Do I respect them for doing what they're doing to get the most money? Of course I do. Because if I was in their position, you've got a conscious decision to make. If you're there to make the most money possible, you've got to take yourself away from the fans and start going, caring too much about spending loads of money. You know, spending loads of money involves in the recruitment. Spending loads of money is getting in the right managers. You know what I'm saying? But if you're trying to make the most money, there's got to be a limit on the wages. There's got to be a limit on the amount you're spending on players. There's got to be limits all over the place. So if you put yourselves in their shoes, you've got to respect it. But I'm not in their shoes. I'm a fan, and I can't respect it, but I can get used to it. So that's why I don't get stressed. That's why you don't see me on here shouting, screaming. You'll see me on other people's channels. I'm not screaming. I'm the voice of reason because, people are protesting. I commend you for doing that. Don't get it twisted. I love the passion that you're showing. Is it going to change anything though? No. The whole of the Tottenham fan base could come out and protest. But then if you're going to sit on chairs and you're spending your 50 quid, you're spending your £100, you're renewing your season tickets, that's all they care about. They don't care if you come out in your thousands with your dogs and your kids. They don't care. I wouldn't. So why? That's what you got to think of. So, it's not me being fickle. It's just me understanding what I'm working with. I've got other things in my life I'd rather support because I support and put my energy into it. I'll probably prosper. I can support and put energy into myself. I can support and put energy into my children. I can put that sort of stuff into my sisters. My mum's retired, but I'd rather support my mum and put energy into helping her try to do things than this football club, because the only way this football club changes is if it changes the ownership. And if the ownership isn't going to change, the fan base needs to be united as a whole. But realistically, we've got 10 different viewpoints. That's the reason why that if you've got 20% of the fan base saying Levy out, there's another 20 that are saying they love Levy. So, Levy knows that the 20% that are not going to the stadium, there's 20 that will turn up. But there's another 20 that want to see Son. There's another 20 that go for the sake of the kids. There's another 20 that decide that they just want to go to the games because it takes them away from what goes on in their life. They're all about going out for a few beers and the rest of it, and having a night out with the boys and getting away from their missus. So either way, Tottenham as a fan base, if you don't unite, Daniel Levy gets away with it. And Daniel Levy has literally came to Tottenham, divided and conquered. And I don't think a lot of Tottenham fans see that. Like, literally, we're probably the most divided club, especially a club that's expecting to win things. And while we all squabble amongst ourselves, Daniel Levy takes all the money. So, like I say, I've got because his mindset is business-based, I've got respect for him. But I don't like him because I don't care about the business. Like I always say, if Tottenham have to play in a stadium full of 10,000 people and I can't go to any games, or I get 1 or 2 games a season, I'd rather that if we're winning stuff. So I'd rather have stayed at White Hart Lane than be able to go to a stadium and pour a pint upside down. I don't care about that. I want a beer. Don't pour it for me. I'll bring a can if you want. Like, are we winning on the grass? Yes. I don't want your upside down beers. I don't want your pitches coming up from the bottom. Don't really care. Is the grass good enough for us to play on? Yes. Does the stadium fit the criteria of the Premier League? Yes. Have we got players that are smashing it? Yes. Well, That's all I want, but we're not going to get it. So relax. So we go into a period now where we haven't got any games in the week. We're out of all cup competitions in typical Tottenham fashion. Where do we go from here is what I hear people saying, and for me, what we're going to do, we're just going to go on a run and probably get top four. Top four isn't an achievement, but it's top four. If we're going to be able to attract certain players, we do need to be in there. So it is what it is. It makes business sense, and it makes sense for the club because we want to attract players. And if we've got any slim chance of keeping Harry Kane, which we probably haven't, you have to be in the Champions League. So we move on to next week where we've got Southampton away, Everton away, Brighton at home, and then Bournemouth at home, followed by Newcastle. So those are, in the grand scheme of things, they're 4 winnable games. You probably won't win them because it's Tottenham, but, you win all 4 of those, you build momentum, because I think we've got Newcastle, Man United, Liverpool, I think, all on the bounce, something like that. So that's, if you win all 4 of those, but then you win all 4 of the easier games, and then you play Newcastle, Liverpool, and Man United, and come out of there battered, at least you're still in the chance of getting in the top 4. So we'll see how it goes. I still keep my same energy. Conte out, Enoch out, Levy out, Poch in, new owners in. I see it just stays the same. So I hope you like this video. I'm going to be doing another in-depth analysis on what goes on in Tottenham. Beginning of the week, I'll be on a few streams. Like I said before, you've got the Hotspur Hood. You've got time added on. So I'm on Tuesday, Fridays. Just look out for me on Twitter. If you have shared, subscribed, done all of that, also follow me on Twitter, because then you'll be able to see what other shows I go on. But, enjoy the blessed weekend that you're having. I hope you're having a blessed one. If you're not having one, I hope it improves. Love, Jacob on the one at top.